Hey, this is TJ from TJOnTheRoad.com. Today what we're going to do is we're going to take this really fun and inexpensive IK Multimedia Uno drum machine, and we're going to take the sounds from this machine, we're going to record it into my DAW of choice, which is Logic Pro X, and then we're going to dress up the sounds and make them sound really awesome. A couple things about the IK Multimedia Uno drum machine. It's really a lot of fun. It's got a lot of great features. It's inexpensive. It only cost me $170 on a holiday sale, but it does have a couple limitations about it. One is it only has a single mono out, so you can't process the individual sounds, with their own sets of compression, drive, and delays, and so forth. Another limitation is oftentimes with a lot of these MIDI type drum machines, when you have a USB hooked up, it can be a little bit noisy. So we're going to eliminate the noise through the process here. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up the drum machine to work with my DAW, that being Logic Pro X. And the process for other DAWs is probably very similar, so you'll have to check that out for yourself if you need to. But first thing we want to do is we want to change the sync mode, so we're going to hit Alt, okay, and we're going to hit the symbol, and you'll see here it says internal that is, or INT, and we're going to change that to USB mode. And then you'll see here on the DAW, what I've set up is for it to sync in the DAW. Right here, you'll see I have the instrument set up, I have the sync mode set up, and then I have two tracks set up, that being the Uno drum audio and the Uno drum MIDI tracks, and we have them both set on record. So let's do a recording on these. Alright, so looking back at my DAW here, you'll see we have, again, the recorded audio original track, and then we have the recorded MIDI track. So we want to dive into the MIDI track here, and you'll see that there are the different notes representing the different pads from the original recording. And if you count them, there are 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that means we want to set up 10 individual tracks, and that we're going to take those tracks and make them individualized for each pad. So let's try that out. I'm going to copy this 10 times. Okay, now I've got 10 times copied of the original MIDI track. Now I want to go back, and let's just say I want to isolate the kick drum. Go into there, and the kick drum's right here. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take that and I want to just delete all the rest of them. Alright, so now we have the kick drum isolated onto one track. And we're going to do the same thing with all the other tracks with each individual drum pad. Okay, we completed the recording of the original audio and the MIDI information into my DAW. Now what I want to do is I want to change the setup for better audio quality and to be able to get individual pad sounds on individual tracks within my DAW. Now the first thing I did is I removed the USB connection and I put it on battery power. This is going to remove the ground hum you often hear with USB connection. And then I've taken the MIDI in and I've plugged that into my MIDI interface. In this case, this is an iConnectivity interface. Okay, so now we're going to play back the MIDI directly from the DAW. Let's see how that sounds. All right, so I completed isolating all the MIDI tracks. There was actually 12 of them, not 10. Sorry for that. Well, now what I've gotten done here is I've set up the kick track to be isolated, and I'm going to record the kick track into its own audio track. And I'm going to do the same with all the tracks, so I'll have 12 individual audio recorded tracks. So let's try that out. All right, now I've completed the kick audio track. I'm going to do the same with the kick 2, the rim, the snare, the clap, the toms, the hi-hat, all the way down the list, and I'm going to have all the tracks in audio form. Okay, so I've completed recording all these MIDI tracks into audio tracks, individual audio tracks. I'm going to hide those MIDI tracks away. I don't need them anymore. All right, now we got all these individual audio tracks, and now with each individual one, we can set their levels, and we can set their pan amounts. We can add EQ, or whatever other effects we want to them. So I'm going to do a quick mix down of all those tracks, and then we'll compare it to the original drum track that we recorded dry from the Uno drum machine. All right, so I completed my mix down here of all these different tracks. Each one of them has a different set of either EQ or reverb settings, some compression, some gating going on in each individual one. And before we A-B the original track here against all that, you might be asking for yourself, hey, TJ, why the heck would you go through all this? You can just get a plug-in and get some great sounds. Well, that is true, but there are a lot of old drum machines out there that have that certain sound that you may like, or you have your favorite, or you have, a cheap one that you want to get in here. This is the way to do that and get it to sound even great. So let's listen to the original track. Okay, so that's very dry, obviously, not bad sounding by its own. But when we take that and we process it, we'll mute out the original track, and we take that out and we process it with all the other tracks, it's going to sound even better. Let's listen to that. All right, that sounded pretty cool if I do say so myself. Probably could get it even a little bit better with some extra effort. So that's just a quick tutorial here of how to take a cheap drum machine, such as the Uno drum, and make it even better sounding within your final mixes. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Check out tjontheroad.com for more. And thank you so much for your support.